that my time?
That's your time, bro.
Your
You
time.
take it away.
Segue to you.
Guys, well, I'm super excited about this one. I've actually been meaning to build this webinar for a little while because a lot of the things I'm going to talk about today are really, truly, honestly, things I believe in, and they've been basic principles that I've learned over the last, 6 years in this industry that, I turned into a company. So I'm really excited to share this stuff with you. So we're going to talk about how to acquire 30 new real estate clients online next year. The reason I say next year is because a lot of people have a bad expectation with online marketing that it's going to happen tomorrow. And that's just not the truth. It takes time. We're in one of the longest sales cycle businesses out there. So I think it's important to understand that whatever effort you put in now, you don't really reap the full benefits for at least 3, usually 6, most often 12 months. So let's dive into it, guys. First, I want to start with a big question, talk about the elephant in the room in the market. So throw in the chat, guys. I'm going to be monitoring the chat here. What year in the US do you think had the highest amount of real estate transactions? Throw that in the chat for me right now. See if anyone can get it. 2021, it's close. 2021 is the highest volume, not the highest amount of transactions. Anyone else? Come on, that's only 5. 2008, 2020. Okay, so the highest amount of real estate transaction was actually in 2005. Okay, now, what do you think the average number of sales per agent was in 2005? Tell me in the chat. Average number of sales in the US per agent. 5, 4, 12, 8, 11, pretty close. So the average number of sales per agent in 2005 was 5.3. Okay. Now, let's flip the switch. What year in the US do you think had the lowest amount of real estate transactions ever? Tell me what year you thought had the lowest. Boom, 2010. A couple of people got it right off the bat. So yes, 2010. Now, what do you think the average number of sales per agent was in 2010? 3, 5, 6. See, a lot of you are going to go think lower, right? 8. Susan. Ding, ding. 8.7. So how do we make sense of this? What does this mean? Well, when I say let's talk about the elephant in the room, this is what I'm talking about. We're moving into a recession. There's a lot of people who are, on the fence with their real estate production. And so why, when sales were so high, the average number of sales per agent was lower? Because real estate was easy. Everything was selling. You were taking orders. You were order taking in that market, right? And it was easy for anyone to get business. But when things got tough, what happened is the good agents soaked up all the business because people wanted to work with agents who were more established. So what is the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is we're going into another market where things are harder. We're already in one. So what does that mean? Well, the agents that are working on themselves, trying to get better, incorporating new strategies, focusing on their business, investing, they're the ones that are going to survive, because a lot of agents right now are dying. They're falling off, right? We all know this, and that creates an opportunity. What does Warren Buffett say? You invest when the market's down. That's when the biggest opportunities are. Tony Robbins has said this. A lot of the wealthiest people on the planet will tell you in markets like this is where there's the most opportunity to capture market share. So now's the time to be doubling down. We did this in one of our sales calls yesterday. We were talking a lot about this. It's a lot of people pull back, but that's how you lose. You got to double down during these times and focus and work harder than ever. So anyways, just wanted to make that point. So a couple bonuses I'm going to throw for you guys just for staying to the end of this webinar. And I'll give you a quick agenda of how we're going to go about it. So if you guys stay till the end, what you're going to get is 3 things. One is my Google Ads cheat sheet. Okay. So I'm going to send you guys a link to download all of these. This is going to be the exact keywords, headlines, and descriptions we use in our ads today. It's going to help you get started with Google. The second thing I'm going to give you is our YouTube launch package. So this is a Google Doc that's going to basically have a video hot list, a scripting template, an equipment guide, step-by-step channel setup with examples, done it all for you to make it really, really simple. The third thing you're going to get is our daily activity tracker. You can kind of see it here. It's incredible. My VP of operations made it. And it's a very interactive sheet that's going to keep you accountable to execute the plan I'm going to show you today. Okay. So this is the best digital activity tracker in real estate you've ever seen. I can promise and assure you that. Now, the last thing is you're not going to get a big pitch from me. Okay. Yes, I founded Agent Launch. Yes, we partnered with Street Text. We have a great relationship. I don't like to do my webinars where I do a big sales pitch. Okay. I'll tell you guys how to book a call with us if that's what you want to do. but I'm not going to give you a big sales pitch in this presentation. I'm going to keep it focused on delivering value for you today. So my promise to you is this is going to be a step-by-step guide on actually implementing some tangible stuff, okay? This is used by, we have 130 active clients. Over 30 of our clients do 30 to 100 new deals every year with this exact strategy I'm going to show you here. Linnea is one of them, okay? We have plenty of other examples though that I can share with you, but this stuff really works if you do it right. People that say online marketing doesn't work just probably had a bad company they were working with or didn't really execute it properly. Next is you're going to get tangible and actionable information that you can start using to better leverage Google Ads, YouTube, system, software, automation today, okay? The last thing is this advice is coming from proven strategies that are working today. I didn't build this webinar last year, I built it yesterday. Now this is all stuff I have presented on hundreds of times at this point, but I built this, it's fresh, it's new, this is really relevant and up-to-date content, okay? And you're not gonna get a big emotional story trying to sell you something, I can promise you that. So who is this bald guy? Well, they already kind of introduced me, but I founded Agent Launch a few years ago. Before that, I actually worked for another real estate marketing agency, and it was my job to go to real estate offices and present on digital marketing. Today, Agent Launch is a team of 20. Our team is mostly in Canada and Latin America. Our business is registered in the US. We have, like I said, over 130 clients. We focus on holistic client acquisition, okay? Most real estate marketing agencies, A, are failing right now, but B, don't have a holistic approach to actually doing this. And so we focus on the whole picture, not just one thing or another. So that's really our big thing, is we focus on not just leads, but nurture, leverage, all of these different things. I'll tell you a little more at the end about what we do, but that's just a little sample of us. So let's get into it. What's our agenda? Well, first of all is who am I? That's the who. Second of all is case studies. So we're going to go over a few case studies and cover why you should pay attention to this webinar. We're going to then talk about the what, which is our SV3 framework. So I'm going to break down our whole framework, how to leverage Google, YouTube, systems, automation, leverage together, okay? Then we're going to stop and do a quick Q&A because we might be at 45 minutes to an hour at that point. And I know some of you might have a hard stop on the hour. So I'm going to do a quick Q&A on that. And then I'm going to go into a really deeper presentation on YouTube. This stuff on YouTube is going to be really actionable. Like, I'm not going to get into a full tutorial on Google Ads, but I'm going to point you in the direction of where you can get that. But then I'm going to go into a really detailed presentation on how you can actually succeed at YouTube, so that those of you that do have an hour and a half to stick around with me, will really benefit from that. Last thing, we're going to do our bonuses at the end. We'll do a Q&A, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about how to get in touch with Agent Launch if you do want to book a call with us and find out more about what we do. So let's dive into it. First case study I want to talk about is Todd Barrett. So he's obviously in our program. He works closely with me and Linnea. He's 120 days in to our program, believe it or not. It feels like he's been around a lot longer, but he hasn't. So he's really 4 months in, and he's got 215 YouTube subscribers. He has several videos on YouTube with, 5,600 views, 3,100 views, 2,500 views, 1,200 views, you name it. He just launched this video, the 5 best places to live in the Big Island, Hawaii, 7 days ago, and he has 15 views per hour, which is really, really cool to see. He's already got 1 client out of that video, actually, which is really, really awesome. So far, he's generated 400 leads. He has 35 currently active and engaged leads. He's already closed 108,000 GCI. And he's estimating he'll do about 400,000 to 500,000 between Google Ads and YouTube this year, okay? The next case study I want to show you is, I got this message from a new client yesterday who was 60 days in. He has 10 active prospects. I thought this was a really heartwarming message to get, because he said he has 10 active prospects, which is the highest he's ever had, and all of them came from Google PPC. He said he would be out of business if he did not have a presence in Google and if he didn't invest in what we were doing with him. And if he did not have a website, which seems to resonate with prospects, I would be out of business. So I thought that was pretty cool, because I think a lot of people are going out of business right now, and it's unfortunate, but the people that are reinvesting in the right solutions are doing well. Plenty of other case studies on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to get into that. I want to dive right into the value here, guys, and talk about the SV3 framework. So this is a framework that I've developed that I really, really believe in, and we've built our business around this because I believe in it. So the S is to generate your leads via search engines. The reason we love search engines is because you have something called search intent. Now, Facebook ads, for example, have gotten harder and harder over the years. And I think that's why a program like Street Text is so valuable, because they have the data mining capabilities to run Facebook ads well, which most people don't have, okay? I used to teach Facebook ads all the time. That was my thing. But then we moved into search engine. The reason we love search is because when people actually go onto Google and search for homes for sale, it indicates they're actually in the market for buying real estate. And usually you'll get good quality leads by doing that. So YouTube and Google are the two biggest search engines in the world, right? That's typically what we focus on with our framework, at least. So generate your leads via search and do it in a consistent and predictable way. The second part to this is use video to start conversations with your leads on autopilot. This is a really important part of our structure and our framework, is it's not just about lead generation. Linnea, for example, sent out a video like, what was it, a month ago? And her video had 26 views. She sent this out to her leads, including all the leads from Google, right? And Facebook. And she had basically, I think she had 28 views on her video and she had like 10 conversations started. Was that right? So like, guys, I can't emphasize how important this piece is. This is a big thing I believe in. Like, you guys can check out my YouTube channel. I have 24,000 subscribers. I get like 170 views on YouTube per hour. Can you imagine your life, how it would be different if you did anything throughout your day? I do apologize, guys. I'm actually sick right now. So if I'm sniffly and coughing, that's why, but I'm still here. So basically, if you had a YouTube channel that was generating 100+ views per hour, regardless of whether you're sleeping, eating, at the beach, whatever, that's life-changing. That's a life-changing amount of exposure. And that's what YouTube can do for you, okay? Linnea's gotten a ton of traction with YouTube in the last 6 months. And that's what her channel is starting to do, right? She just went on vacation in Mexico, but what was happening? Her videos were working for her. Now, with our program, and what we believe in is using video on autopilots, putting in your drips and all that kind of stuff so the delivery of your videos is automated. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail. So generate your leads from search engines, use video to start conversations with your leads. Instead of just sending them texts and emails, actually sending them valuable videos. And then focus on building 3 big points of leverage if you want to scale your business, okay? So what are these 3 points of leverage? Well, time leverage, brand leverage, and operational leverage. So time leverage is your team. Brand leverage is leveraging video on autopilot. And operational leverage is using the right software and automations to make your life easier. So this is our framework, and I'm going to break this down in more detail for you guys so you can understand it, okay? So this is a quote from one of my favorite mentors that I wanted to share, which is, rarely is the answer doing new, but often doing more and better of what you're already doing, or just doing fewer things, but more and better, okay? Can anyone resonate with that? Throw in a 1 in the chat if you resonate with that. Because I think the biggest problem in real estate is most agents are hopelessly distracted with the next new shiny object, okay? So like, throw 1 in the chat if you resonate with that, guys, because this is like really powerful. This is from one of my favorite mentors, Alex Hormozi, but he says this all the time, is simple scales, fancy fails, okay? We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're trying to do the fundamentals well and then scale them up. That's all you need to do. Like, you do not need several client acquisition channels to grow your business. Most people want to be doing everything everywhere, but oftentimes fancy fails, right? Simple scales. So shiny new object syndrome, or shiny object syndrome, is, I think, the biggest crux of most real estate agents, because we are the most sold to people on the planet, literally. And so it's hard to decipher who's real and who's not. So this is Alex Hormozi. If you don't know him, I'd recommend you follow him. But let's get into the actual way of establishing yourself. So the first thing you want to do is establish yourself a brand. So here's how I think you should establish your brand online. There's 2 examples, Todd and Linnea. Example 1, and this is something that I helped Todd with when he started with us, is you have like a location or localized brand, okay? So Todd established living in Kona, Hawaii. His website is livinginkona.com. His Google My Business is Todd Barrett, living in Kona, Hawaii, refocus realty, okay? So this is kind of our recommended brand if you want to build like a localized team. Now, living in are really strong keywords for delivering value to people about what it's like to live somewhere. So a lot of the most successful YouTube channels, I'm going to give you some examples to follow later, so you guys can follow great YouTube channels, get inspiration and advice and guidance, are living in X, okay? This is a brand I love. Now you can twist this. We have a client who's lifeonoahu.com. We have clients who live in Phoenix, Arizona, right? You can twist this in a lot of different ways. but something localized that isn't just you. Like you have to think about, will your brand grow with you, right? So if you feel at some point that your personal brand, you might get tired of your personal brand. If you want to build a team, a lot of people like to build these types of brands because it's easier to get people behind a brand like this than it is necessarily to get behind your personal brand. Now, flipping the switch, I know a ton of successful agents who do rock their personal brand for the long term. So I think that's really important to understand as well. Like Linnea does coaching, she has her downline, she has like a lot of stuff going on where it benefits her to be under her personal brand, right? She's chosen to build her personal brand. That's okay, but whatever you do, you want to really have a think about it to make sure, is this something that will grow with me and can I stick to this, right? I know some great agents like in Vancouver, John Tsai, he has the John Tsai team, he has like 20 agents, right? You can do both work, but make sure you think it through. I started my brand under EVP Media, Eric B. Preston. I grew to not like that. So I shifted to agent launch like a year and a half ago, and that's felt a lot better for me. So it just depends, but establish your brand and make sure you're intentional about it. Second thing, find a consistent, scalable lead source. Now, let me give you a couple examples. You're all here because you're partnered up in some fashion with Street Text, right? So Street Text is going to generate you leads from Facebook, Agent Launch, Google, and YouTube. Okay, that pretty much covers most of the gamut of where you would generate leads from today. Like, yes, you can generate leads from Reddit and Twitter and TikTok and everything else, but they're not the primary sources, I would say, for what people are using right now. But make sure whatever your lead source is, it's consistent, predictable, and scalable. That's really important. Okay, YouTube is not consistent, predictable, and scalable for quite a while. Like when you're talking about making YouTube videos, you don't want to expect much from that right away. But Facebook ads, Google ads, you can predict that. You can consistently do that. Now, if you get this right, guys, this is money in, money out. Now, money in, money out means scalable. So you need to take risks. When you're getting into paid advertising, it's not easy. You need the right mentorship, the right systems, the right infrastructure, the right advertising. You need to do a lot of things well. This is why we partnered with Street Text, is because when we met with these guys, we could tell they had a great product and they actually knew what they were doing. And I think they felt the same about us. So we partner for that reason, because there's a lot of people who are doing Facebook ads and Google ads really poorly. Like the second best or second most popular Google ads tutorial on YouTube is from a guy who's never run Google ads himself. And I watched his video and he is littered with mistakes. And so like, you want to be careful of who you listen to with this stuff, and you want to make sure you're partnering with the right people. But if you get it right, it's money in, money out. So it's scalable. Like one of my clients spends 15 grand a month on Google ads alone. I personally spend $1,000 a day on YouTube ads. Now that might scare the shit out of some of you, but like we do that to grow our business because we know it's money in, money out. I know my numbers. And so this is the next point, is you have to know your numbers when you do this. And if you don't know your numbers, that's okay. You need to partner up or get mentorship from someone who does. So for example, if you get $10 leads on Facebook or Google, that's $1,000 for 100 leads, right? So what does that look like as far as conversion? Generally speaking, you're looking for a 1 to 3% conversion rate on online leads. 3% if you're really good, 1% if you're pretty good, 0.5% is kind of if you suck a little bit. So you can't judge the conversion after 3 months or 6 months or even a year. You have to look back over a year to truly judge a conversion rate of online leads, because leads you generate today, like how the math works is 70% of the leads you generate online are going to convert in 6 months or greater. Only 30% of the ones that convert will convert within 6 months. So most of the money is made in that longer term window. Okay. But you need to understand what to expect here. Because people always ask me, like, what's the conversion rate? Well, I'm like, well, if I gave these leads to Linnea or my client who spends 15 grand a month on Google ads, they'll convert 3 or 4%. But if I give it to some new agent who doesn't have the skill set that they do, they might only convert at 0.5% or less. So there's not a conversion rate for leads. It depends on how you work on your skills. So generally, $10 leads would be $1,000 for 100 leads, 1 or 2% conversion rate. Say you make 10,000 a deal, that would be a 10 to 20x ROAS, which is return on ad spend. Okay. So the investment here can really make sense, but you got to take risks and you got to be really willing to invest to make this work. But the point of this is that it has to be a consistent and scalable lead source. A lot of things like referrals, sphere of influence, things like that are not consistent and predictable. Okay. And you can't turn the tap up at will. That's the big thing. Now, if you guys want a Google Ads tutorial that actually makes sense, I'm going to drop a link in the chat here. So that's my YouTube channel. The first highlighted video on the front page is a really in-depth Google Ads tutorial. That's totally free. If you guys want to watch that and use it, it'll go along with the Google PPC cheat sheet you'll get at the end of this. If you do want to set up Google Ads, that's one of the easiest ways you can do it. As close as you could get to what StreetText does. StreetText is a lot simpler because they actually do a lot of that for you, but this is a tutorial on how to do it. So that's step 2. That took a while. Step 3, and this is probably the most important thing I can talk about. There you go, Linnea. That's the video she found me with. So step 3 is to have a bulletproof nurture program. So basically, what you want to do with these leads, guys, is like this is what separates the people who succeed and don't. You want to email, text, and bulldog call on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 10. Sounds pretty aggressive, but that's what you need to do. Then every week thereafter, probably for a few months, and you can probably soften it after that. But you want to make sure you're proactively following up with these. How many of you have heard of speed to lead? Probably most of you. Like, speed to lead is really important. You want to get on these leads right away and teach them that you are proactively following up and being there for them in their journey, and you want to lead with value. The second thing is you want to work on your sales skills. Okay, this is where a lot of people underestimate, but like leads don't suck, but agents very often do. Okay. And I'll just tell you that bluntly, like I have enough clients, I've worked with enough clients over the years to see this firsthand, but like I said, I could give a lead to Jason or Linnea or Todd, and they will build so much trust and rapport with that person that they'll get on their good side and they'll want to work with that person. But I can give it to someone else who just thinks they're a good salesperson or has an ego about it, and the outcome will be very different. Okay. It doesn't say leads can't suck. Like, of course they can, but most often the problem is the agent. I promise you that. Now, another thing I want to talk about is this might be one of the most important things I say is the quality of your questions with leads and conversations determines the quality of your answers. Okay. So how many of you have ever asked this question before? Quick show of hands. How many beds and baths are you looking for? Right? Come on, more of you guys got to be in there than that. Yeah. A lot of you guys have probably asked this question before. So Linnea, you want to role play with me?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Why not?
Hey, Linnea, thanks for signing up on my website. I noticed you were looking for some properties in Glendale. I'm just curious, how many beds and baths are you looking for?
Wait, what?
Like how many bedrooms and bathrooms are you looking for?
Oh, for a house? 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Cool. Like, how good of an answer was that? Is that the answer you wanted? Probably not. Like, if you ask bad questions, you get bad answers, right? What if we flip the switch and we said something a bit different? Said, hey, Linnea, thanks for signing up on our website. I noticed you were looking for properties in Glendale. I'm curious, like, what is it about your current home that's not quite working for you that has you exploring other options?
I got to be honest, like this neighborhood that I'm in, it's like too close. I don't really like the gate anymore. My house is just too far away. We're on a busy street. I mean, there's just a lot.
Right. So now what did I learn? I learned a lot about her pain points of why they're even looking to move. And as the conversation evolves, she's going to tell me how many beds and baths she's looking for. She's going to tell me what stage they're in. That's going to open up a lot of things. But when you hear that question, it makes you think. And I'll give credit to Jason for this one. This is one of his questions, but the quality of your questions determines the quality of your answers. Make sure you're working with a mentor or a sales coach that's going to help you when you get on the phone with leads, that you're asking the right questions to open people up and build trust and rapport with them. Because if you're asking the age-old boring questions, you're going to get the boring answers and it's going to feel like an interrogation. So work on your phone skills. That's one of the most important things you can do, and make sure you have a bank of good questions, right? So really, really important. Work on your nurture program. That's one of the most important things. And another thing you want to do at the end of that conversation is start repeating back to them what it is they told you. So make sure when you're on the phone with people, you have your CRM open and you're recording this information. If they tell you they have a dog, repeat the name, ask the name of the dog, repeat the name of the dog, right? These little things are how you're going to build trust and rapport with people and make them choose you over another agent. Because I guarantee you in this market, most of these leads are talking to multiple agents. Guaranteed. They're on multiple websites, working with multiple agents. And a lot of you might say, oh, like I just can't close any or whatever. Well, you need to be better. Like this is a skills-based market, and you need to work on your sales skills so that you're asking the right questions and digging deep into what people actually need. So really important step, guys. Can't say that enough. Now, the next step with nurture is something that I'm really big on. And this is to, one, it's like, yes, you want to set up auto text, auto emails, calling people, asking the right questions, making sure you're digging deep. You want to have 2 hours in your calendar at least every single day where you're prospecting, making conversations, and that daily activity tracker I'm going to give you guys at the end of the day will help you structure your day like that. Now, the next step in nurture is expanding your nurture with video. Now, how many of you have had a lead tell you they're just browsing? Show of hands, guys, really quick. Probably all of you, right? So this is where most people give up, and they'll say things like, oh, the leads are tire kickers. They're all just browsing. How many of you have walked into a clothing store and someone came right up to you and said, hey, can I help you? And you're like, oh no, I'm just browsing. Probably most of us have had that experience, right? But we've probably also had the experience where someone said, hey, no worries. I know you're just browsing. I just want to give you a brochure of our recent sales. We actually have a cool thing where it's 30% off today. And you're like, oh, cool. I'll take that brochure and I'll look through it. And then you look through the brochure or whatever it is. And then you end up asking that person a question, right? And so this is where most people give up, is that if you need to have scripts and processes around this question specifically, because this is one of the biggest barriers for people to succeed or not to succeed, is consistently getting around that question. So one of the things you can do is you can use video to get around this. So let me ask you, Marcus, I know I say, hey, can I help you, blah, blah, blah. You say, hey, I'm just browsing. Now I'll say, hey, Marcus, I know you're likely really early in the process and just browsing, acknowledging what they just said. Most people who sign up on our website are. Would it be helpful at this stage if I sent you a video on my top 5 neighborhoods to invest or live in right now in Seattle? What do you think Marcus would say?
Yes.
Yes, because that sounds helpful and I can get you off the phone, right? So next thing you're going to say is what? Of course, probably going to say, yeah, sure. And you say, great. Can I text that to you? What's your best number? Or maybe you're on the phone already, so you don't have to say that, but like, great, let me text that to you, right? So then you text them a link to a YouTube video. What's that going to do? Well, it's going to get them watching your video and it's going to warm them up to you. And then if they like it, they're going to go watching your other videos. That's how YouTube works. I get on sales calls. Well, I don't do sales calls anymore, but when I did, the number one thing people would say to me is, Eric, I've watched all your videos, right? Linnea, how many times have you had this happen with leads that contacted you from YouTube?
All the time. I get probably 6 to 7 calls a week from someone who's watched my YouTube videos. Direct calls. I'm not even calling them.
So people won't call you after one video. They're going to go watch a bunch of videos before they call you. And so I've experienced this myself many, many times. And it's really cool to see our clients experience this, because it's such a I promise you, the best lead you will ever get is someone who's watched all your YouTube videos. There's no better lead than that. So if you can push the leads you get from Facebook or Google to your YouTube channel, getting them to watch your content, they're going to warm up to you, and then they're going to reach out to you on their own accord because they trust you, know, like, and trust you, right? So expand your nurture program with video. This is something I really, really believe in. And that's why we really integrate it into our program. Because I think, like, if you do this well, your street text leads, your Google leads, wherever your leads are coming from, you're just going to have a higher likelihood of converting them. But you got to get down to brass tacks and actually create the video content first, which is what most people will never do. And that's why I think YouTube is a blue ocean of opportunity, because most people think it's harder than it is, and they don't have the right mentorship around it. So in the final part of this webinar, I'm going to actually give you guys 10 steps to succeed. So stay tuned for that. More on this later. Now, step 5. Rio, I love comments like that. I don't know if it's the coffee or the value in this training, but I want to jump from excitement. That fires me up. Let's go. Okay. So step 5, and this is something I'm really big on, is leverage, guys. You got to buy back your time. At a certain point, you're going to be too busy to do it all. You may not be there now, but at a certain point, if you want to grow, you're going to have to leverage yourself out. Any business owner knows this, but if you haven't got to the point where you've moved past being a solo agent, I promise you, leverage is king. So first step, leverage your admin to a remote virtual assistant. This can be your social media, transaction coordination, lots of day-to-day tasks that you just may not have time for at a certain point. Second thing you can do is leverage your prospecting to an inside sales agent. So this is what we do at Agent Launch. We actually help people recruit remote VAs and ISAs. So like leverage your prospecting to an ISA so that you don't have to make that first call anymore. Because at the end of the day, when you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 leads, you're not going to have time to make calls within 5 minutes as soon as they come in. So you hire someone onto your team to do that work for you. Having this person trained correctly and giving them an environment to succeed is really important. Making sure you're meeting with this person every day to do call reviews in the morning, to do a team meeting. Like this stuff is really powerful, but not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. Like evolving from an individual agent where you're in control of everything to having a team where you're managing people and having to take on higher value tasks. It's hard, but it is the next step in the evolution of selling more houses and being a bigger and better real estate agent. So at a certain point, you're going to have to leverage yourself. And the last step in this process is once you've leveraged yourself through a virtual assistant, they don't have to be virtual. You could hire an in-person assistant, but let's say a virtual assistant, a virtual inside sales agent. Like we staff a lot of people from the Caribbean, Latin America. The last step would be to leverage yourself through an OSA, which would be a buyer's agent or another agent in your market who you provide leads to, maybe some mentorship to, and then they're actually doing transactions and paying you a split. So at a certain point, you need to, and that's when you can become more of a listing agent, right? So at a certain point, you need to buy back your time. And this is really like the 3 part in the SV3 framework is like leveraging yourself out through systems, video, software, people, right? Those are the big things you can do to grow and leverage yourself. I also want to say this, like Tony Robbins said this, I remember and it really resonated with me, is like building something great takes time. Like at Agent Launch, we have 20 people now. It feels crazy to me because when I got into this industry, I started at a marketing agency where I was the 19th hire and we grew to 85 people. So like, to me, I'm like, now we're bigger than when I started there. And that's really, really cool. And so like, I've had to really learn this lesson. And I think it's really important to like emphasize this point is like, Tony Robbins says, what does he say? People overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10. And I have found that so true. Like even just 2 or 3 years, the amount I feel like I can accomplish in that time window is astronomical these days. Like I've had some crazy beliefs that I've built up in myself over that last year that I never thought I would have. And so it's really interesting, but building something like this takes time and you can't rush it. Everyone wants to get to the end result without taking the journey. So you got to learn to enjoy the journey. And that's really, really important. So anyways, that's my framework, guys. I want to do a quick Q&A. I know we're at we're only at 40 minutes. So usually I blab and talk on a lot longer than I think, but quick Q&A on the framework, any of this stuff, guys, I want to hear it. What questions do you have? I'll also say really quickly, if you do want to explore working with Agent Launch, you can just go to agentlaunch.com, click the Own Your Client Acquisition button, fill out our short survey to see if there's a fit, and you might be able to book a call with our team and we can do a strategy session and see if there's an opportunity to work together. The second thing I would encourage you to do, and I'll put these links in the chat, is join our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is High Volume Real Estate Sales Secrets. Go ahead and join that group. That's where we put a lot of our exclusive content, and you can engage with me and ask questions around any of the resources I'm going to give you, the bonuses at the end. So those are the 2 places you can really get in touch with us, and the YouTube channel. But I want to open up to you guys. Do you guys have any questions on this? Because after this, I'm just going to go straight into YouTube. But I want to see if anyone has questions first.
Awesome. And go ahead and use that little raise your hand feature if you do have one.
There's a couple in the chat too that I've seen. So someone in the chat, hold on, where did it go? Eric, this is like solid gold you're dropping right now too. I'm just gonna put that out there. I like, you guys, this is about the other part of the reason that like, I just like, Eric's got just gold.
So much.
It is like gold. So, I mean, so Todd asked, any thought if you are working in multiple states, like on your YouTube channel?
That's a tough one, but I would probably create 2 YouTube channels. Like if you did living in Dallas and living in, San Francisco or whatever, like I think your audience is totally different for those 2 channels. So if you're do you want to elaborate on that? Like what are the states? Are they like right next to each other, or you can unmute yourself, I think.
It's Kentucky and Indiana.
Sorry, I don't know if those are next to each other,
Yeah,
but
sorry about that. It's just it's literally a 2 mile divide over the Ohio River. So I work Southern Indiana and I work Louisville, Kentucky.
so usually there's more complications with that on the Google ad side because you need two IDX feeds potentially because you probably have two different real estate boards, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So like YouTube channel, you could do like living in, what are the two names?
I would say Louisville and Jeffersonville. It's spelled Louisville, but we say Louisville.
You could do a YouTube channel that's kind of like that because it is
Okay.
kind of one area, right? It's like one area, but it's just
Well, here's, and not to make it more confusing, but Louisville is Jefferson County. So, in Jeffersonville is a city in Southern Indiana.
is that in Jefferson County as well?
No, it's not in Jefferson County. That is Scott County.
Is that considered the Ohio River Valley area though?
It is. Yep. Ohio River
So
Valley.
that's
then
what I
you-
would roll with.
There you
Then
go.
you could do that. Yeah, living in Ohio River Valley would probably be
Okay.
a blanket term.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
that way, because those two areas you're probably going to get a lot of interchange between them, right? People
Yeah.
moving between the two and people looking at both areas. So I would say in that case, you could probably roll under one brand. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Leon, for that clarity. Any other questions? When you talk about working on sales skills, what are the best books, videos, podcasts I should be studying as a new agent? I would not specifically say books, videos, or podcasts. I would say follow Jason Samard. He's my client who does 200 deals a year from Google Ads that we run for him, which is crazy. And then Craig Proctor, I think, has some pretty good sales skills. Like one of our coaches in our program, he's been a Craig Proctor student for a long time. He has a lot of success with some of his sales stuff. I like the Challenger Sale. I think the Challenger Sale was a really transformational book for me in my sales journey. And the Challenger Sale really teaches like how to challenge your prospects and not just give in to them. Like, even though it feels uncomfortable, like challenging their perspective. And an example of this is like, I want to list my home here, right? How do you address that? Like challenging your prospect and saying like, most agents would probably just give you the yes, I'll list your home here, but I'm going to tell you why that's a bad idea. And I'm going to break that down for you because I think that's a mistake. And if you don't agree with me at the end of this, then I might not be the right agent for you. And like challenging them on that perspective. No, you shouldn't list this. I'm the expert and this is why you're paying me. So that's a really good book. I actually did a presentation to our group on that book. So that's a book I would really encourage you to read. Jeff's the best way to generate YouTube subs. Let's leave that for our YouTube section. I've been working on my YouTube channel for the past 3 months. Let's leave that for Axel for the YouTube side of things.
Sarah
When
had a
you-
question. Sarah said, do you have them create videos beforehand? Sarah, what was that question about?
I'm just wondering, if you want them to create the video, like you said, the top 5 neighborhoods to live in or invest in. So you're having them create those videos beforehand, before, going out and making
Yeah.
the calls with that, right?
The way we do our program at Agent Launch, and like we build all this for you / with you. So like the first step is we set up your Google Ads, your systems, and get that really well refined. So we set up your follow-up boss. Like we really highly recommend you guys use Follow-Up Boss. It's one of the best CRMs out there. So we set up the ads and the nurture program first. Okay. That's where you're going to get most of your leads, and then you can start working your leads. Then we move on to starting to work on the videos. And once you have your videos, that's when you can start using them in your sales process with those leads. And then we also download them into the drip campaigns that are going to go out through Follow-Up Boss. So that videos are getting delivered automatically, right, through your drip campaigns rather than you having to manually send them. You should do both, but really important. Linnea, Amy said it in the chat, Jason Smart. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But that's kind of the formula, because we wouldn't say make all the videos, then we'll start generating leads. It's like start generating leads, start working those leads, working on those leads proactively, because they're going to take some time to convert, right? Like the leads you guys generate today, you're teeing up your January, February, March for what you're investing today, right? You're not investing leads today to sell a house at Christmas. So generate the leads first, then work on the videos and start using the videos as you have them. Does that answer your question, Sarah?
That does, and just to clarify, so I am an agent, but I focus mostly on, a boutique ISA business. So this is
Mhm.
something I've been trying to get my clients to implement, and we use that for our follow-up systems. And Lene is like my client avatar, so her videos, those are what we kind of base our follow-up off of. So I was just wondering, like, how you were getting them to do that, but you answered my question because it's basically a process you're taking them through. So thank you.
I take my training very of the approach of like, it has to be step by step, and I have to do everything for the agent as much as I possibly can. So like, I have scripts that are nearly word for word. I have coaching weekly where we watch your videos, give you critical feedback. I will create your titles for you. I've already done it. And just like make it as easy as possible, because creating a YouTube channel and creating videos isn't easy. We also edit our clients' videos in-house, like the same guy who edits my videos. So like, and edits Linnea's videos, actually, all of her videos are edited by our team. It's like, so making it as easy as possible for the agent to actually execute the video is really important. Because if you say, go create a video, edit it, upload it, do all this stuff that they don't know how to do, it's just going to widen the gap between, or lessen the likelihood of success, right? So how do you make the likelihood of success the largest? And I think that's doing as much of the hard stuff for your client as possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wendy, you got a question?
Yeah, so if you want to brand yourself, but you also want to include areas, could you do yourself as the channel and then do like playlists of living in Henderson and living in Las Vegas?
You could, yeah. Like my channel is myself, Linnea's is herself. That works for a lot of people. That's the other option I'd say is like your personal brand or living in. You should probably choose one though. If you don't have a good living in you resonate with because you're in multiple areas, potentially just branding yourself makes more sense.
Okay, so playlists don't really mean anything, like to put certain videos of Henderson in a
It makes sense for content you want to compartmentalize. Like, yeah, like
seller tips.
suburbs or seller tips or like, market updates or things like that, right?
Okay.
So I'll get into more on YouTube after this, guys. I'll tell you briefly about Agent Launch because Jennifer asked, like, really in a nutshell, what we do is we're a very done for you / done with you program. So we have, 9 coaching calls a week. We set up your Google ads, we manage them. We set up your Follow Boss, all your nurture programs. We set up an internal communication program for you. We actually hire, train remote ISAs onto your teams. Like they're actually your contractor. We don't hire them and you like we subcontract them out. We actually pair you with talent. You choose who you want. We train them on the systems we build so they can work the leads for you. Then we coach you on YouTube, give you all the tools to succeed. We'll edit your first 6 videos, build you brand assets for your YouTube channel. Like if you watch Linnea's videos, those transitions and cool brand assets, like we built those. So, and then we'll give them to you. So our program is very much an ownership program. Like instead of like realtorzillow.com, where the second you stop paying them is the second you stop getting leads. For us, like we build assets in your business and not in ours. That's kind of the big thing about Agent Launch is we're more of an ownership program. So we're going to like build your Google ads and then we're going to hand you the ad account, right? We're not going to keep it from you and make you pay us forever to have that. That's the big difference with us. Another note on Follow Boss, Ida, is like, yes, we use Follow Boss there's a very specific reason we use Follow Boss, guys, and I want to be clear about this. Follow Boss will bolt on to any website you have, kvCORE, Real Geek, Sierra, Sync, whatever. It'll bolt onto those and it'll exchange information. Now, if you change your website, Follow Boss will come with you. So you don't have to change that. Follow Boss will also make you make all your dials. They'll give you really good email open rates, call connectivity. They have a strong dialer. It'll record all your calls. It'll give you really strong analytics. Because if you hire an ISA, the one thing you can never do is be in an environment where the calls are not being recorded and reviewed. Your ISA needs to know that all their calls are going to get reviewed by you and you're going to watch them together and coach them. Follow Boss does that automatically. Even when you use Chime, like Chime, you have to use a bridge phone. And that just doesn't work that well. So like Follow Boss is the gold standard. We've used them all. And so, yeah, I think that's Linnea said it. Fall Boss, it's the best. I don't have any incentive for you guys working with Fall Boss at all. I don't get a referral out of them, nothing. But we send all our clients there. Just like Street Text, when we tell people to go to Street Text, I don't get a benefit out of that. We just love these guys' product. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. So, you guys ready to talk about YouTube? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I love this part because in my program or an agent launch, I focus my energy mostly on YouTube. Like we have a Google Ads media team, an operations team, ISA team, all that stuff. So let's talk YouTube. So really quickly, why YouTube? YouTube is it's huge. It's one of the top social media platforms by monthly active users, just behind Facebook, but Facebook is finally shrinking. Believe it or not, that just happened recently. YouTube has no competition. It's a monopoly. Who's YouTube's competitor? Nobody, right? YouTube's very sticky. There's 1 billion hours of YouTube watched every day, and that is like skyrocketing right now. The curve is just like huge. Elon Musk? No, someone said YouTube Shorts. I think someone asked about YouTube Shorts. We'll get into that. YouTube Shorts is a huge threat to TikTok. I believe that. YouTube is highly targeted, guys. So when someone searches, like I know this is one of our clients, Carrie. I know he's got 3 or 4 deals out of this video specifically, but when someone searches, what's it like to live in your city? And your video comes up explaining what's it like to live in your city. What a perfect prospect. Like they're literally thinking of moving to your city and you're going to be the person to describe to them what it's like to live there, right? So it's very highly targeted. The people you get watching your videos generally are very highly targeted. YouTube's also cost recovered. My YouTube channel last year made $23,201. Pretty cool. Like, you know, if I was in the right part of the world, I could live off that. So YouTube generates ad revenue. Once you have 1,000 subscribers, I will preface it. Once you're bigger on YouTube, YouTube can actually generate you ad revenue and cover the costs of your equipment, your edits, all of that stuff. So you can actually recover your costs from YouTube. YouTube's also evergreen. This video I published November 26th, 2020, and it's still getting a lot of views. This one video has made me $6,300. That's not even my most profitable video. But this was a Google Ads tutorial I did. It got 118,000 views, made me $6,300. It's still getting views all the time, like 34 views in the last 48 hours. It's pretty cool. So the big difference with YouTube and social media is that social media videos last 1 to 2 days, right? What are people doing when they're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? They're usually watching a bunch of stuff. They're distracted. But when people are on YouTube, they're usually focused on one video, right? So when people are on YouTube, they're in that ready to watch state, right? So they're evergreen, meaning the videos you create will last you 1, 2, 3 years in a lot of cases. So the investment in making a YouTube video is higher than making an Instagram reel, yes, but like it might be twice as much work, 3 times as much work to make a YouTube video, but it's going to last you 100 to 200 times longer. So keep that in mind. YouTube's also compounding. The more videos you have, the more your videos feed each other. Like people might find out about your channel through one video, like Linnea found out about mine through my Google Ads tutorial. Then she came to my channel from that one video, started watching my other videos. Those videos feed other videos. The more videos you have, the more it actually compounds over time. YouTube is great social and email content. So if you focus on just making good YouTube videos, you can send those videos out in an email blast to stay in touch with your audience. You can cut those up into like 3 or 4 other videos and post them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and create social media content. So YouTube is also easy to niche. Like Linnea generated 8 listings on this one little video that has 1.3 thousand views. How crazy is that? I mean, you paid $400 for that, Linnea?
Yeah, I paid $400. I spent more on the video than I actually made for that listing. So I was negative on that listing, but it's generated like organically all the time. Just, I don't even have to go to that island anymore. I just sell properties over there now. So.
Yeah. So how cool is that with one video? So let's talk about some case studies to follow everyone. I think one of the first things with YouTube is finding someone you want to be like and modeling yourself after them. Okay. One of the best advice is it's like show instead of tell. So here's Jennifer Gramling. I forgot the G on her name, but whatever. So she's moving to Nashville. Another example of like living in Nashville, moving to Nashville, live in Nashville, in Nashville, something like that, right? Moving to Nashville with Jennifer Gramling. She's a year and a half in. I don't know her current deal volume. One of our clients, Teresa Linnea, found out, and she said it was absolutely crazy. And I was like, was it over 30? She's like, yeah. So I don't know how many over 30, but she's done, you know, a lot of business in the last 12 months just from YouTube, right? So I'm a big believer in this, is like, you could build an entire business just being great at YouTube. You don't have to do all of these different things. You can just be a master at one thing and you'll be disproportionately better at that one thing than everyone else. I think everyone's like tendency is to be everywhere on social media, but that actually hurts you, I think. This guy, the Living in Dallas team, they have a team of 14. I don't know how much business they do, but I know it's easily over 100 deals a year. So they have 16,000 subs. They've been doing it for only a year and a half to 2 years, and they're doing like easily 100+ deals a year. Crazy. Here's another great example, Rochelle out of Toronto. She's only 8 months in. She's done over 20 deals and she's gotten 4,000 subscribers. She had this one video that got like 118,000 views or something, which is like, don't move to Toronto. It's like a negative bias type video. She's really great. She's really good at this. Tom Story has been doing this for 6 years. He's a long-term YouTube guy. He's been doing videos. He's featured on the news all the time. He does 1.3 million in GCI a year, and he has a 350 person database. He just nurtures the hell out of that database and leverages video. And he's done a great job at it. So he's a really alternative example to follow. And then you have Linnea, obviously she's really been growing fast. And then Todd as well. Todd is the example I gave in the beginning. I would follow him, living in Kona. He just put out this video, like I said, 7 days ago. He already has a new client from it. He's getting 15 views per hour 7 days later. It's a really cool, cinematic, awesome piece of content. And then Linnea had that video. I think we talked about it, but it was like 13 conversations started. What was it in the end? How many conversations started from that 2-1 buy?
Like about 27. And I mean, look, you guys, it only has like 300, like right now, I think it has like 300 views on it. So I don't have a lot of views on it, but it started a ton of conversations. 30
conversations.
Yep.
Crazy. Doesn't take a lot of views on YouTube to get a client. It just takes the right view, right? People think of YouTube like social, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's like they focus on subscribers, but you shouldn't focus on subscribers right away. Focus on making good content for your audience and attracting the right views, because subscribers will grow on their own. Don't worry about that so much, because most people don't find out about your content from being subscribed to it. They find out about it through suggested videos and the homepage of YouTube and other things like that. So it's a very different platform, and it's important to understand that. So you guys ready for the 10 steps to success? This is a golden nugget right here, I promise you. So I know we're like on the hour, but try and pay attention to this, guys. We will get you the recording of this because you'll probably want to watch this part again. There's going to be a lot in here, but this should give you like a good structure of how you want to approach YouTube. So let's dive into it. Number one, find yourself inspiration, okay? R&D, research, and duplicate. Find 2 channels you want to be like and start replicating what they're doing. From that, plan out 10 videos in order and start working your way through those videos. And the best piece of advice I can give you is don't expect anything for 6 months. Seriously. You have to take the approach of YouTube that like, I'm going to do this for 6 months, even if I get nothing from it. Because it genuinely takes time to take off on YouTube. Todd, this just happened recently. He's like that video, his channel just started getting traction, and he's 4 months in. So he's like, but he's followed our program like military style, like everything he did by the book, and he's had really good success, but it still took him a few months. But his latest videos are getting traction right off the hop. They're getting recommended by YouTube. And he's starting to really get traction from it. So don't expect anything right away, because a lot of your videos will totally flop right away. That's just part of the process, but they can always pick up traction later. That's very normal. that you make a video, it doesn't get any traction for the first, like, I don't know, 3 months, and then all of a sudden it just picks up. My video that had 118,000 views got almost nothing for the first 3 months. It's kind of funny how YouTube works. Like, you don't think of it that way because social media is kind of like, if your video doesn't succeed right away, it doesn't succeed at all. YouTube is not like that. Second is branding. We already talked about this, so I'm going to skip over this part, but really dial in your brand, think it through, look at domain names, find a domain name that's available. I do this with almost all of our clients at first. I go on Namecheap, way better than GoDaddy, by the way, for domains. Go on Namecheap, start looking. Life in, move to, living in, this, that. Find something that resonates with you and plan your brand a little bit, okay? Really important step. Step 3 is to get equipment. I just got my brand new lens Sigma in the mail today. Super exciting for me. But for you, like with equipment, keep it simple, okay? I'm going to walk through how to film and all that in this part of the presentation, but what I would recommend, like Linnea uses the top 2 items in the top right of the corner, her phone and that Rode mic. That's it. Now, obviously you need a little phone attachment to hold your phone, but that's what Linnea uses on all our videos, her phone and a little lavalier mic that goes into her phone. You don't have to complicate it. If you want to take the approach I do, I have a setup like this. I just have a camera and a mic on top, and that's how I record my videos. I used to use the Sony ZV-1 with a Rode Video Micro. The Video Micro is under $100. The Joby GorillaPod is like, I don't know, under $100. The Sony camera is a little more expensive. It's like 700 or something, but this setup, the Sony camera, this Rode mic, this tripod will be everything you need to record. If you want to keep it simple, you can start out just using your phone and that mic, and that's the simplest setup you can have. Best part about having a new iPhone or something is the cameras are literally awesome on here. So it's easier now than ever to start a YouTube channel. Second thing, guys, how do you feel about this lighting? I got a show of hands. How many of you think this is good lighting on my video? None of you? None of you think it's good lighting? Sorry, guys, I'm stuffed up. But natural light is better than you trying to be a director of photography, okay? So like this video I shot right behind me, down there, in front of that window, okay? Now, the lighting you're gonna get in front of a window is really nice and balanced, natural, and if you have a decent camera, it'll look like this. Now, if you have a depth of field behind you, you're gonna get this depth of field effect as well, and it's gonna look good if you have a good camera. Like an iPhone may not do that so much, but I think this is a really high quality shot, and it's literally the setup you're looking at in front of me here, in front of a window, that's it. It's actually not this lens, it's my other lens, so it'll look even better with this lens. But don't try and be a DOP and get all these lights and all this stuff. Just film in front of a window with a simple setup. Keep your setup simple. Don't stop yourself from recording content because you don't have the right setup or you're waiting for Amazon order to arrive. That's one of the biggest problems I find is people think they need a perfect environment to film, but the truth is you need to film over and over and over and over again and watch yourself after the edit over and over and over again to really feel out how to make better content. It takes time, it's a process. You're not going to get it right away. And it also takes good mentorship too, like having someone to guide you through that process. So a good camera in front of a window will give you everything you need. So just keep it simple, okay? Step 5 is once you have your channel, your content, your videos you want to create, is start scripting. So here's an example of what a script looks like. So planned content is generally better than ad-lib content, especially at first. Once you get better, you can start to ad-lib more stuff, okay? But you want to use proven scripts with big reach. So like find scripts that other people have proven are successful already. Like the most successful video our clients make is top 10 pros and cons of living in Seattle. That video seems to always hit. So do videos that are proven to actually get some traction, because all it takes is that one video to be the entry point into your channel. A lot of people find out about you through one video and then they go into your other videos from there. So you want to script out your videos, but use bullet points only. Don't script out word for word. Like you can script out the intro and the hook, the beginning part, because that's the most important, word for word. But you want to just use bullet points like Pro 1, the weather, and then just go on about the weather, right? Don't complicate it. Last thing with scripts, everyone, is don't forget your call to actions. This is the biggest mistake I see our clients make. You don't want to be overly aggressive with your call to actions, but you want to make sure they're there. So by the way, if at any point in this video, you actually want to tour some of the houses I'm seeing, make sure you reach out to me. All my contact information is in the description below. I'd be happy to set that up for you. Let's get into the video, right? You want to make them feel natural with the video and in alignment with the things you're talking about. Like if you're talking about interest rates, say, by the way, guys, I know this can be overwhelming. If I always recommend talking to a trusted lender, but if you don't have one, I have 3 I highly recommend. I'd be more than happy to connect you with them. Just reach out to me using the contact information in the description below, right? So make sure your call to actions align with the content of the video and are a natural flow. Like tell people to reach out to you to get like dangle the carrot a little bit, right? Like, hey, you don't have a trusted lender? I do. Want me to connect them with you? Call me, right? Then you have an opportunity to build trust with them. So call to action, super, super, super important. Don't forget them in your scripts. Lastly, filming. A few tips for success, guys. Like this setup you're looking at in front of me is basically what I filmed that snapshot with. I use items around the house because I recently I just got this pole here that sets up on my desk. Whoop. But before that, I was just using this little like candle holder to put my tripod on to get it to the right level, right? But keep your setup simple. Speak louder and faster than you think is normal. This is one of the biggest things I see our clients get wrong is they talk like they're talking at a coffee shop. And on video, it doesn't come off very good. It comes off very slow. So like, if you can stand up, get a sit-stand desk. Like when I'm doing presentations, I'm always in this mode. Like you're always like, it's a little more energetic for me to be on camera like this than sitting down. There's a lot of psychology behind that too. When you're in a sitting state, at a very like biological level, you're like vulnerable. When you're in a standing state, you can be in your power and that comes off on camera. So if you can stand up, speak louder and faster than you think is normal, use more emphasis. Okay, this takes time to develop. I remember when I first started doing presentations, I did that a little bit. I was kind of a little like, yeah, you know, and like, it takes time to get like, use your hands and use your energy. Another piece of advice is like, turn your camera on, leave it on. Don't film, stop, film, stop, film, stop. Leave it on. Shoot one long clip. Your editor will just cut out the pieces in between and it'll look natural. If any of you have seen my YouTube ads, like if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll probably get my YouTube ad. That ad, like I recorded each little section of that scripted ad, probably like 2 to 6 times each. And my editor just cuts it out and puts it together and it feels natural. And you may not know that until you see it for yourself, but like, just film in one long shot, your editor will cut that stuff out. So don't stop. It's okay to talk to your editor while you're shooting. Sorry, guys. I need some water. I do this all the time to Jorge. I'm like, I'll literally look at the camera and be like, Jorge, can you cut that last part out and use the part before that? Right? Because he's going to be watching this in his editor and be like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Right? So like talk to your editor on camera instead of texting them over email or something, right? Just talk to them. Next, once you've filmed your video, before you wrap up, take a thumbnail shot, right? Do something that's like emotive, overly emotive. Now, I want to be very clear. Thumbnails and titles are the 2 most important things for you to get people to click on your video. So there's really 2 steps here. You want people first to click on your video, and then you want them to stay. 2 very different things. So how you get them to click on your video is with your title and thumbnail, because that's all they're going to see, right? So make sure you have a very strong title with capitalized words to emphasize points. And then you want your thumbnail to complement the title. So Rochelle had this video that has 156,000 views. I'm sure it has 200,000 at this point. But it's "Don't move to Toronto, Ontario, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point," in all caps. And then her thumbnail is perfect. It says, "I can't stand Toronto." Now, that's how you get someone to click, is a complementary title and thumbnail, okay? Complement each other, really important. You don't wanna just repeat. Like most people will just repeat, but it doesn't do your video as much justice. You wanna complement, okay? So a great example is 5 things I wish I knew before living in Dallas, right? You want to highlight the most important words, and then the thumbnail could say, if only, if I only knew, right? You want them to complement each other. My Google Ads video, Google Ads for realtors, step-by-step full tutorial. And I say close 3 to 6 Google Ads deals per month. That's because we can actually back that up. We have several clients who do that. And so does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, like this I spend a lot of time on in our program, coaching, because this is where most people go wrong. So I always tell people, like, send me your videos, I'll help you with the title and thumbnail. It's really, really important, because the first thing is you need to get people to click on your video. And some people have a problem with this. Like, I don't want to make a video that says I can't stand where I live, or I don't move here. But you have the opportunity once in the video to build trust with them and give your city paint your city in a good light. It's just to get people there. You need to get people there first. Now, next step would be the edit. Now, I don't recommend self-edits. How many of you are self-editing videos? Anybody? So if you're self-editing videos, I suggest you put an expiry date on that. It doesn't scale. And the mentality of making a video, knowing you're going to have to edit it, it's a lot of work. It becomes a lot of work. So it's better that you invest in finding an editor than doing it yourself. What I would recommend is if you find an editor on Fiverr or Upwork, find someone with YouTube experience who you can give access to your channel as a creator, and they can upload your edited videos to your YouTube channel for you to review. But find someone this is the advice I want to give you. Find an editor who has experience with YouTube. Show your editor what type of channel you want to be like. I made this mistake early on. Don't try to tell your editor how to edit your videos, because you don't know how to communicate with an editor. Show them a channel you like and say, I want to be like Linnea, or I want to be like this person, right? And give them an example of what style of edit you want. So plan your workflow. Like, generally a good workflow for this is upload your thumbnail and your video file to a shared Google Drive folder. Tell your editor that this video is ready, and then have them, once it's done, upload it to your YouTube channel as an unlisted video, so you can review it on YouTube. And if it's all good, you just publish it. This is what Jorge, my editor, and I do. And I'd say 95% of the time, Jorge's edit is on point and there's no re-edits that need to be done. And that takes time. In the early days, we worked together a little more on the details, but now it's pretty dialed in. So we've invested that time, and now our workflow is really streamlined. I already covered step 9, which is review. Another thing I'll say, guys, don't be overly picky about the small stuff. The people who watch your videos don't remember the small stuff. Like, I just published a video yesterday, and Jorge, someone on his team, in my Instagram video, I was talking about Zillow and realtor.com, and he put realtors.com. And I looked at that, I'm like, who cares? Like, you just have to have that attitude. Like, who cares? Like, most of the time your video is going to be edited by someone remote who English is not their first language. Let those little details slide. Like, they're not a big deal. It's not worth going back and spending all the energy on it. It's really not important. Even some of the best people that do this, I see them let that stuff roll off the shoulder all the time. So pick your battles. Now, step 10.1 to 10.7, this is a big one. And this is something I really believe in, is you have to make sure when you have your videos, you don't just put them on YouTube and forget about it. You have to deploy them. So 10.1 is deploy via YouTube. You don't need a posting schedule. Add tags, just know they're not that important. Add cards, add an end screen, add chapters if you feel like it's not that important. Update your default upload template. You can look up what this is. It's basically when you upload a video, it'll auto apply a description. Have something like this: book an intro call with me, text, call, email me directly, view all homes for sale and wherever you are, your website, and then your Instagram, whatever social media is important. Have a nicely emojied, organized call to action section, and then have your description above that. That's really all you need. But have it built into your default upload template so you don't have to do it every single time. And so that's number one. Obviously, get the details right on YouTube. If you have an editor that works with YouTube, they might be able to do some of this stuff for you. Second is deploy via social media. So have your editor take your videos and create this style of video for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. YouTube Shorts. you can take one YouTube content, turn it into a bunch of different posts for everything else, but give them examples of what you want. You can use my videos for examples if you want. Third is deploy via email. Now, this is what Linnea did when she got 13 conversations started. She made that video on the 2-1 buy down. She sent it out in an email. These days we use a thumbnail actually that you can click on. And then she got 13 conversations started from sending that video out over email to her people, because she was talking about the 2-1 buy down, which is naturally a thing that was kind of, people wanted more information about. So they reached out to her, right? And started a conversation. Make sure the email is short, to the point. Put in the link to your YouTube video so people can click on it and go watch it. That's how you'll drive a lot of engagement and viewership from your current database. 10.4, deploy via text. This is great for proactive outreach, guys. This is a really, I think this is a really hot tip. So basically, if you see a lead searching for homes in an area and you have a video on that area, how cool would it be for that like lead to receive a message saying, hey, Jason, I noticed you were searching for homes in Kona a lot lately. So I wanted to send you a quick video on some things that many buyers aren't aware of when buying in Kona. Let me know if this is helpful. How cool is that? Todd made a video on the property pitfalls in Kona, Hawaii. Now, in this video, he talks about lava zones. How many of you knew lava zones were a thing in real estate? Well, I didn't until I heard Todd talk about it, but that's a real thing in Hawaii. So those are things that people moving from the mainland probably aren't necessarily aware of. And so how great of a video is that to build trust with the lead who's searching in that area already, right? So great for proactive outreach. Next is deploy on the phone. And I kind of already went over this earlier, but I'll go over it again, which is I'm just browsing. I'm not ready to talk to an agent. It's like, hey, no problem. I understand you're likely very early in your process. We're just here to meet you where you're at. I noticed you're searching in Kona. Our team leader, Todd, actually made a great video on his favorite neighborhoods in the area. Would sending that to you be helpful? Of course it would. Yeah, send it over. Great. Is it all right if I text you? Great way to prospect. Bonus step, add these to your drip campaigns. So this is one of the big things we believe in is you don't have to always use these to manually deploy. You can literally put them in your drip. So remember how I said, send a call, email, text on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 10. That's our drip campaign. But once you create your first 6 videos, we put your videos in those drip campaigns. So every video for the first 10 days, or sorry, every email and text for the first 10 days has a link to your YouTube channel. And the feedback we've got from our clients on this is Todd said it very clearly. He's like, I can see that they're clicking on them, but they don't engage with me until like the 3rd or 4th email. And I know at that point, they've already watched 3 or 4 videos now, and then they reach out. And he's like, I can follow their actions, and it's really cool. So this is what that might look like. Day 1, the #1 real estate website in Vancouver, realtor only data, top 10 pros and cons, 5 best neighborhoods, whatever it is. Doesn't matter so much what the videos are, as long as they're helpful and useful. So that's all I got with YouTube, guys. I hope that was valuable. I want to open it up to you guys for Q&A. I see you guys are taking a lot of notes, which is awesome. I will say this again, like I'm not going to get hugely into what Agent Launch does today. I've covered it a little bit, but just go to agentlaunch.com/apply, fill out our survey. And if there's an opportunity to have a call where we can chat in greater detail, that's the way you can do it. But everything we talked about in this presentation, we help you with. A lot of it we do for you. Some of it we do with you. Like I can't make videos for you. So provide you all the tools, edit the videos, coach you on it, et cetera, et cetera. But go there if you want to learn more, and let's open it up for questions. Leon, you're up.
Go ahead and unmute yourself there, Leon. He's on his phone. You just got to press the unmute button there, buddy.
He's like, I can't figure it out. I'm on my phone. Leon's muted. That's weird.
Sarah, something that doesn't include the ISA, yeah, we can figure something out for you.
You pressed it and then you turned it back on, Leon. So you got to do it one more time. While he's doing that, does anybody else have questions?
Well, Marion put a question in the chat a while ago. Do you recommend videos or shorts? More videos or more shorts? I'm assuming she means long form videos or short form videos.
You mean YouTube Shorts specifically?
That's what I would think.
I think the beauty of that type of content is the short form is you can use it for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. I do that.
Mhm.
Same SEO, all those different platforms. I think shorts are a great way to build your YouTube channel today. I really do.
You can
Um,
also repurpose your shorts onto Google Business too, which I've done that too. That's really awesome.
There you go. Yeah, the
All
short.
right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
I'm on my other phone, so that's kind of weird. So here's my question, and it actually ties into YouTube Shorts as well as so what I do, I've been doing on my house is I'll make a small introductory on YouTube Shorts, and then add them to my full-length video that I have for like the houses I've been doing. But the big question I have is because Facebook suppresses their competition, meaning YouTube and stuff like that. So if someone makes a video, do you recommend, like, since you only got to make one and you can upload it to multiple platforms, like I've been finding if I put them on Vimeo or whatever and upload that into Facebook and then use my description to drive them to Facebook, from Facebook to YouTube, I mean, have you ever done anything like that or recommend that?
So there's two ways to do it, Leon. One is you can post the link to your YouTube video on social media, like generally Facebook is where this works. In that case, sometimes what happens is you get clicks and the people watch your like 2 seconds of your video and leave, and that's not good for your video.
Right.
What I would recommend is you create a teaser short video. So it's a little video that's like a teaser of your longer video. So it's a little snippet of your video, and then it ends with more on YouTube. So if they want to find it, they have to go to YouTube, search for you and find it. And that is actually good for the algorithm.
So the teaser, would the teaser just be native, like right out of your phone, and then you upload that and then put the links to drive them to the YouTube?
Well, you wouldn't put the links. You just end the video with more on YouTube and just have that video be its own piece of value for Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever. And if people really want to watch the rest of your video because your teaser was good enough, they'll go to YouTube and they'll search for you and they'll find it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I noticed like when I do the shorts got more activity and traffic, and I use my shorts to push them to the full size, full presentation. But just with Facebook trying to suppress everything, I was just wondering if there's something else you recommended trying.
Facebook will suppress links to other platforms. LinkedIn does this too, right? Because they don't want people to leave their website to go to competitors. So like if you put a YouTube link on LinkedIn, it'll create a new link and it'll host that video on LinkedIn. They did it in a really creative way, but yeah, that's why you want to just post a video without a link. It'll get way more reach. Got it? Marcia? I think you're muted.
Thank you. I'm here now. Thanks for the presentation. I've been doing videos for about 1.5 years now. I've dropped off a little bit, but they are effective. My question to you is, my channel is called Marcia Melendez Realtor, but Brooklyn is my market, but I have a subtitle, Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle. Should I change my channel name to Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle?
Can you say that again? You have...
My channel is called Marcia Melendez Realtor because YouTube wouldn't allow me to be Brooklyn Realtor. On Instagram, I'm Marcia Brooklyn Realtor. YouTube, I'm Marcia Melendez Realtor. And I have a tagline that I use in all my videos, Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle. Should I change my channel name to Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle? Do you think I'll get more hits that way?
I personally really like that.
Which one? Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle?
I do, yeah. But how I would structure it is like your Google My Business could be like, what's your website?
Marcia Melendez at exprealty.com.
Okay.
I'm with EXP, so I have a regular EXP website.
So what I would do is I would find something like this. I'm going to put it in the chat for you, okay? So remember the formula we talked about?
Which one?
I'm gonna do this for you and use the formula I was teaching. So Google My Business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do your Google My Business, your YouTube, And website, I would do what am I missing here? Google My Business, YouTube, something like this. So Google My Business, I put Marcia Melendez, Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle, eXp Realty. Your YouTube could be Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle. Your website could be brooklynhomesandlifestyle.com. That to me would be a coherent brand. If you want to stick with Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle as a brand, I think this is a perfect example of how you could do that. I would almost expand that to say your IG could be Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle. Right. And then that way, why this is important, guys, is I want to make a very clear point. If you look at like Todd, livingincona.com, it's really easy to say that to someone and have them type it in. Just go to brooklynhomesandlifestyle.com, check out all the properties available in Brooklyn, right? It verbals well. And so you could have your IG handle, your TikTok handle, Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle. I don't know if that's available. I don't know if the website's available, but that's the research you got to do, right?
Okay.
So rather than having like it be different in different places, have it be coherent. And this is why I think planning your brand makes a lot more sense. And moving, I like moving away from your name if that resonates with you, and it sounds like it does. It is a bit.
Thank you, Bill.
There you go.
Appreciate you guys.
Nobody hold it hostage, okay?
I don't have any money. Buy it.
So that's what I would recommend. And like with your EXP site, you can, I think, pay like $20 a month and have your own domain like that. So I think that's really cool, personally. Does everyone agree? Like that's a pretty cool brand. Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
I like it.
Then you're like Marcia Melendez from Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle. And if Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle becomes its own thing, then you're like Marcia Melendez, CEO and leader, team leader at Brooklyn Homes and Lifestyle.
Thank you.
Rio.
I have a kind of very similar question to Marcia because right now my website is called tamparealestate.co, but then my YouTube channel is Discover Tampa Real Estate. So I'm kind of torn to like, should I just stick to the branding of Tampa Real Estate, or should I, move on to the Discover Tampa Real Estate? Because Discover Tampa Real Estate is available in like other platforms as a social media handle. But when I was starting my business, I started using Tampa Real Estate.co, and it's been in my business card. So I'm kind of torn if I need to change that or just stick with it.
Okay, so let's do this live. This is fun. So go tell me again what it is your current situation is.
So the website, I named it at the very beginning of stage of my business. It's called tamparealestate.co.
Okay.
And then
What's your Google My Business?
Discover Tampa Real Estate.
Okay. And what's your YouTube? Do you have one?
Yes, Discover Tampa Real Estate.
Okay. So what I would do is go to namecheap.com. GoDaddy sucks. I can't say that enough. Namecheap, so much better. So if you go Discover Tampa Real Estate, let's see if this is available. Because it sounds like you like that.
Yeah.
So then that's available. So what I would do is move away from tamparealestate.co and move into discovertamparealestate.com. Now you have a coherent brand. Okay. This I like, and then you can do social could be at Discover Tampa Real Estate, which probably is available. So there you have a complete organized brand. Would everyone agree? Now, what you'd want to do is you would take this tamparealestate.co and you'd redirect it to Discover tamparealestate.com. Okay. So you'd have to go into your GoDaddy or Namecheap and you'd have to have a redirect. There's
Yeah.
guides on this online and redirect it. So any traffic you currently have will get sent to the new one.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love this exercise personally. What else, guys? Hit me. I'll give you 5 more minutes.
There was a question a while back from Miriam about how long does it take to create a YouTube video?
Depends on how fast you are. By the way, guys, I'm just going to put in the chat all the links I mentioned. So there's the Facebook group, if you want to join that. There's my YouTube channel, and then there's the bonuses I promised you guys were seeing at the end. Those will get emailed to you if you sign up, all 3 of them. So let me know if you have any issues. But as far as how long it takes to make a YouTube video, I time block 4 hours a week usually for content. Usually it takes me a couple hours to do a YouTube video, from conception, planning, filming, sending it off, uploading it. Then I usually do like some short form stuff, which takes me like 30 minutes to an hour. I usually like to have a buffer in case I get really indecisive about what video to create, but usually 4 hours a week is a good like content block to have in your calendar every like Monday or something. Like you want to have like 4 hours a week blocked for content, and then 2 hours a day, at least on weekdays, blocked for prospecting. Like stick to that. Like consistent action over time is going to get you where you want to go. If you're not consistent, you're not going to get anywhere. Anyone else? Anyone else want to do a brand exercise?
Wendy has a question.
Wendy?
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so I don't know if you know who Real Grader is, but they kind of walked me through all of my platforms and said, you know, we're trying to like match things up.
Mhm.
And they said that my Google My Business can't be Wendy Goss, your real estate boss, because Google won't like that. They said because you're
did you
not
try it?
really, because you're not, it's not, they said do Wendy Goss Realtor, but that's kind of boring and it doesn't match all of my other stuff. So do you agree?
I would actually change what I did before for, was it Rio? And add your name into that. And you can also do your brokerage. That's kind of the formula. So Google My Business, I would do like that: name, brand, brokerage.
Thank
So
you.
Wendy Goss dash your real estate boss dash brokerage.
And you put the dashes in it?
Yeah, just to make it clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so that's what I would do for that.
Awesome, thank you.
That way you're hitting all the keywords, right? Yeah. RIP, RIP. Is that Rio?
Hi, sorry, my name is Ree. So I have a question about the branding. It's Ree Prasad Luxury Group, and then I'm in Chicago, so I kind of had my YouTube handle as The Chicago View. And then my brokerage is Option Realty. So I'm not quite sure if I put all that together, it is like 2 sentences.
Well, you have 2 brands. You have Ree Prasad Luxury Group and you have the Chicago View. So I'd choose one.
Okay.
What do you like better?
All of the branding is Ree Prasad Luxury Group.
Then I would stick with that.
Okay.
If you can get the, it's okay to have a brand like that. Like it's not, like you can make it work. There's lots of people who do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Like you can build a strong brand around that. Like you could do Ree Prasad Luxury Group brokerage, right? Because your name's in it. Your Google My Business would be a lot simpler.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think for YouTube, you just have like the Ree Prasad Luxury Group. And then you'd have all your handles just Ree Prasad Luxury Group. I don't know if I spell your name right. Sorry if I didn't, but.
Oh, no worries. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. It's just stick to one and make sure you feel good about it. Because I've seen so many people change, and changing sucks. I've been through it. But like when you change your brand, you know, 1.5 years, 2 years in, it's like you're changing your emails, your website, your nurture, your video assets. It's really tough. So like whatever you feel better about long term, like picture yourself 2 years from now, what would you be happier with? Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's why I stuck with mine, you guys. That's why like I stuck with Linnea Carver because that's my, I mean, by the time I actually came and like really went after YouTube and Google, like for me, it was like I'd already had so much done with my name, and it's just a brand, it's just my brand. So that's why I stuck with me. So you just got to find something that you can jive with forever. Like it's got to be like a forever thing. It's not something you just want to think about, oh, I'll just change it in a couple of years, but forever.
totally. So I think we probably got to wrap up there, guys. I appreciate you all attending and staying this long. I know we probably went way over, Marcus and Jonathan, so sorry about that. But I hope you guys got the value you came for.
Absolutely, Eric. You had 100% retention 10 minutes past the hour, so it was massive value.
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
everybody would agree. Can we all give Erica, or what's this Steve like to do? This little thing on the camera. It was awesome. Everybody,
Thank you,
make sure you
Eric.
click on those links. I got an automatic text from you, Eric, so I know I clicked on it and gave you my email.
Yeah, click on the link for the bonuses for sure. You opt in there, I'll send you the stuff to your email. Just check your spam and promotions folders and mark it not spam if you want to do me a favor. If it lands.
And Linnea, not to do a quick plug for you, but isn't tomorrow your agent launch with Eric as well?
Yeah, on my call, I have Eric's coming on mine to talk more about YouTube tomorrow, you guys. So if you come to my calls on Friday mornings, you will be able to get to learn a little bit more. So there we go. Thanks for plugging that, Marcus.
You're welcome.
Well,
All
thanks
right.
for having me, Marcus, Jonathan, the Street Text team. Really appreciate it, and Linnea as well. I look forward to next time.
Thanks, guys. Message us if you have any questions or you need any resources. This will be
Thank you.
recorded. Cheers.
Okay, all.
And the replay is going to get posted on the Insider Group, Marcus, I take it.
Yeah, we'll get that for you. Message me, Leon, and we'll make it happen. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.